What's up guys? Today's video I'm going to talk about wearing gear in Singapore, or trying to rather encourage you guys to wear gear if you don't already wear any sort of gear at all. Now, a lot of us in Singapore, we have three worries, especially a lot of those younger ones that just started riding. Now, three worries about wearing gear, and three reasons we give why we don't wear gear. There may be more, but these are the three biggest, most common reasons that Singaporeans will give when they say they don't wear proper motorcycle gear. First reason is cost. Okay, now it is true that motorcycle gear can be very expensive, and it is very true back in the day, especially when I first started riding motorcycles, the gear, especially good motorcycle gear, was very expensive. Now, this was before we had the explosion of online sellers, the explosion of being able to order directly from China, and back when you only either could choose from having cheap, shitty Chinese fakes, or you would have to go down to your local bike shop and buy expensive brands like Dainese and Alpine Stars, and they weren't cheap. Like when I first started riding a motorcycle back in 2011, I remembered going into a shop and seeing a proper Dainese motorcycle jacket going for about 600 bucks, and then my very first motorcycle helmet, full face, costed me 600 bucks. And back then, boots were about $200 to $300. Gloves were about $50, $60. If you wanted to get, Kevlar pants, they were going to run you another $500, $600. So the entire investment to get into safety alone, without the motorcycle, without paying for your insurance and all that shit, the actual bike stuff, it's going to run you close to $1,000, $1,500, maybe even $2,000 if you wanted to get something that actually worked. So a lot of people back then, like me, we just settled for a three-quarter helmet that costed like 50 bucks, and we called it a day. Now, over the years, I realized that how important gear is, so I started investing a bit more. And I realized now in 2018, it's not so difficult as it was back then. It was a very legitimate reason for us, a lot of us younger riders with not much money to spend back then, before the internet. I mean, well, the internet was already a thing, but I mean, online Chinese sellers in general. But nowadays, a way to get yourself riding motorcycles safely on a budget is to just go online, get on websites like Taobao or AliExpress, especially if you can read Chinese. Or if you can't read Chinese, there is AliExpress for English speakers all around the world. And while China does have a reputation for making shoddy products, the truth is, it's not that they are unable to make great products. I mean, look at the jacket I'm wearing. I'm wearing a Chinese-made jacket, and it's great. The quality is pretty good. I've been wearing this for half a year now, and usually back in the past when you had cheap Chinese fakes, they fell apart within a month. But I've been wearing this for 6 months, and every single day, and it's such good quality, and it gives me so much peace of mind, and it actually works well as a motorcycle jacket. My boots are also Chinese made. It's not as well tailored as you would get from a expensive brand like Dainese, but I mean, it works perfectly well day-to-day riding, and they cost very cheap. This jacket cost me about 120 bucks. My boots were $60. And my gloves that I wear is about 20 bucks. So if you compare it with buying name brand originals, they are less than a quarter of the price. It's no excuse nowadays, because you can get perfectly good Chinese made products on the internet at a fraction of the cost and works just as fine. I mean, as long as you're not trying to race at a track in Sepang, well, all this is perfectly fine. It's enough for day-to-day riding, and when you actually need it, it protects you so well. The only thing that I probably wouldn't skimp on and get a Chinese version would be my helmet, because to me, my head is the most important part of the body. I mean, I can get injured literally anywhere else and I still be alive, mostly. But if I hit myself on the head, I'm dead. Okay, so I invest in a good quality helmet, usually made by Europeans, if I can. If not, it's still Chinese made, but it's from a European or an American brand, because I want the peace of mind, and these companies provide you the quality assurance that goes into making every single one of them. So it's not that you have to buy expensive American helmets like Icon or expensive Japanese helmet like Arai. You can go with something that costs less than $200 and it will be just fine. Like, for example, I have this Just One helmet. They are a European brand, I think they're European, but at the end of the day, you're still getting quality assurance at a pretty affordable price. Okay, you could get cheaper Chinese helmets than that, probably less than $100, but just for another $100 more, you're getting something that is going to protect you, and it gives you a peace of mind that there's actually some quality testing going on behind these helmets. Now, the second reason that a lot of Singaporeans will give me is it's uncomfortable. We are living in a hot country. It rains all the time. It's freaking 34 degrees Celsius during the day, and it's humid as hell. And a jacket is impractical to wear every single day, especially if you're not racing. Now, the thing is, I find it otherwise. I find that actually wearing a jacket in Singapore's heat is a lot more comfortable than going bare-skinned. Now, I used to ride without a jacket for quite a long time, and even if I wore a jacket, it will only be for very serious riding. But day to day, when I go to work, I wouldn't be wearing a jacket at all, or boots, or even gloves. But after switching over to wearing a jacket daily, riding boots, gloves, I realized that it's actually a lot more comfortable in the midday sun than it does without having it on, because I don't get sunburn anymore. And for the mornings and the evenings and at nights, having all this on isn't really uncomfortable. It's cooling enough that you can feel it under your jacket, especially if you wear something like mine, a mesh jacket. It's perfectly fine. So I kind of find the reason it's uncomfortable bullshit, unless of course you're off the bike right now, like I am, not riding at all, and I'm walking around. Of course you don't go jogging in your jacket, but otherwise it's perfectly fine. And for those that refuse to wear a full face helmet to protect their chin, I can't stress the importance of having a full face helmet after seeing so many people with broken jaw. And even my own recent incident, I actually hit my face against the back of a truck, the back and the side of the truck. That corner where it's a jutting edge. I could have broken my jaw if I wasn't wearing a full face helmet, and thank God I had that on. And the thing is, for all of those who choose not to wear a full face helmet because it's uncomfortable, there are comfortable options. Look at this. This is a dual sport helmet. Just get a dual sport helmet, wear goggles on it, and there's so much airflow going through it. It's perfectly possible to get a comfortable helmet that protects your chin as well. Now, the last reason being it impractical for day-to-day carrying around, basically, is a reason that was said to me when I was wearing my gear up to office. Some guy that worked in the same office as I did looked at my boots and then was asking, do you wear your boots every single day? Then I did say yes, I wore it every single day. And he was like, well, I have boots at home, but I don't wear it at all except to go touring or track, because you know it's hard to put them anywhere. I mean, like, bro, if you bought boots, why wouldn't you wear it? I mean, it's to protect your feet, right? And I do get that concern, because not everybody wants to be carrying all this shit around with them when they're off the bike, especially if you're wearing racing boots. It's uncomfortable to walk in. A jacket, while it's comfortable to ride in, it's quite hot if you start walking around, and then you of course don't want to be lugging around the helmet, even though most people deal with that by locking it on the bike. Gloves, where are you going to put the gloves? Most will shove it in the backpack, but the main point of contention is your jacket and the boots. Now, most of the time I would say, I would just ask people, don't you have boxers? Don't you have boxers? Everybody has boxers, don't you? Don't you all have boxers? Okay, not everybody has boxers. So if you have boxers, well, it's pretty no-brainer. Just shove it in your box, especially if you get a 45 or 50 liter box. You can carry it around everywhere you want, and it's not a problem. The problem is if you're like me and you ride a ZX-6R without a box. In that case, what I usually do is I carry a long cable lock with me that I use to tie my helmet, my jacket to the bike itself. As for the boots, I usually find a lockable bag, right? And then I lock the boots in the bag, and then loop the cable lock through the bag as well. And then for the gloves, I just shove it in my backpack and carry it with me along with my camera and stuff. So that's one way of thinking about it. It's all perspective. It's all about effort. If you want to be safe, you have to put in some effort. So what else? I mean, it's really not hard to wear. I mean, some people might also include the other impractical reason, as in, you know, it takes so long to get into your gear before you can ride off and get to work, and then when you get to work, it takes so long to tear it off and get into your proper working attire. I'm like, well, if you are slow, get up earlier or ride faster, or you could just practice. I mean, eventually it got to the point where it took me less than 30 seconds to put on all my gear, because why? I wear my boots when I leave the house, my jacket as well when I leave the house. So as I'm walking out the door, I'm wearing my jacket. As I'm walking to the bike, I'm putting on my helmet. As I'm you know, turning the bike on and, you know, letting it warm up, I'm putting on my gloves. And by the time I put on my gloves, zip up my jacket and get on the bike's warmed up, I'm ready to go. So less than 30 seconds, probably even less than that. So for all of you out there, I hope you try as much as you can to wear proper motorcycle gear when you're riding a bike. Now, I'm not going to judge, because I myself used to be like that kind of person. You know, it's too expensive, I'm not going to buy gear. It's too uncomfortable, I'm not going to wear gear. It's too inconvenient, I'm not going to wear gear. Now, but after getting into accidents, you know, thankfully, things that didn't kill me 3 times in a row over the course of 7 years, I feel like, you know, it's a minor price to pay just to protect your skin, protect your bones, and go back to your loved ones safe and sound. And of course, gear isn't going to replace sensible riding, defensive riding. So while I'm out here advocating gear, at the same time, just remember that, you know, no matter what you wear, you still need to use your brain and think whether you should be riding at 120 kilometers down the expressway without repercussion. So I hope you understand this video, and hope it changes your mind a bit and helps you get into the act of riding with gear in future, and I hope you enjoy this video. Right now it's what, 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm wearing gear. It's not even hot, I'm not even sweating. So I hope you like this video. I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye.